The question of whether humanity could survive an alien invasion isn't just a plot device for science fiction. It's a thought experiment that forces us to confront our vulnerabilities and, more importantly, our strengths. The sheer possibility of such an event invites us to consider every conceivable aspect, from the initial encounter to the long-term struggle for existence. It's a scenario that has captivated imaginations for generations, but what would it genuinely entail for our species? First, we must consider the nature of the invaders themselves. Any alien civilization capable of traversing the vast distances between stars to reach Earth would inherently possess technology far beyond our current understanding. We're talking about capabilities that might appear almost magical to us. They would likely have mastered faster-than-light travel or at least advanced propulsion systems far exceeding our rockets and probes. Such mastery implies a profound understanding of physics, energy manipulation, and material science that would render most of our conventional weaponry obsolete. Their ships could be impervious to our missiles, their defenses impenetrable to our attacks. We might face energy weapons that can sterilize entire regions, or kinetic bombardment from orbit, dropping objects with the destructive force of nuclear weapons without the fallout. They could deploy advanced robotics, artificial intelligence, or even biological weapons specifically designed to target Earth's life forms, or perhaps just humanity. The sheer technological asymmetry is perhaps humanity's greatest initial challenge. The motivations for an invasion are equally varied and critical to consider. Are they driven by a need for resources, perhaps water or rare elements that are abundant on Earth? Or is it territorial expansion, seeking a new homeworld? It could be something more sinister, like eliminating potential competition, or even harvesting humanity itself for biological components or as a source of labor. Some theories suggest they might simply view us as an inconvenient obstacle, much like we view lesser species. It's even possible they come with what they perceive as benevolent intentions, aiming to civilize us or guide our development, which could still lead to the eradication of our self-determination. The motivations would dictate their tactics and the ultimate goal for humanity, whether it's annihilation, subjugation, or something entirely different. The initial stages of an invasion would undoubtedly plunge Earth into unprecedented chaos. The psychological impact alone would be catastrophic. Panic, disbelief, and mass hysteria would likely ensue globally. Communication networks could be immediately targeted and disabled, plunging vast regions into darkness and isolation. Major urban centers, military installations, and critical infrastructure would be primary targets for rapid neutralization. Military responses would be swift, but likely disorganized and ultimately overwhelmed. Jets soaring to meet alien craft might be vaporized before they even register a target. Our most powerful weapons, including nuclear arsenals, could be rendered useless by advanced shielding or countermeasures, or simply deemed too localized and inefficient against a global threat. The sight of massive alien vessels descending, silent and implacable, would shatter any illusions of our supremacy. In this early phase, human unity would be severely tested. While some might argue that a common enemy would instantly unite all nations, history suggests a more complex reality. Divisions based on nationalism, ideology, and self-preservation could easily fragment our response. Some nations might attempt to negotiate independently, while others might hoard resources or even align with the invaders for their own survival, believing it's the only path forward. However, if the aliens' intent is clearly genocidal, aiming to eradicate all human life, then a desperate, unified global resistance becomes more probable, driven by the absolute instinct for species survival. Despite the seemingly insurmountable odds, humanity possesses certain inherent strengths that could offer a slim chance of survival. Our adaptability and ingenuity are paramount. Unlike a monolithic alien force, humanity is diverse, decentralized, and unpredictable. we have a history of fighting and surviving against technologically superior foes through asymmetric warfare. Guerrilla tactics, operating from hidden bases, striking vulnerable supply lines, and disrupting their operations could become our primary mode of engagement. Our sheer numbers, though a logistical burden in peacetime, could become an advantage in a protracted conflict, making complete eradication a monumental task for any invader. Another potential factor is the biological element. As H.G. Wells famously posited in War of the Worlds, invaders from another planet might be susceptible to Earth's microorganisms. Our pathogens, to which our immune systems have adapted over millennia, could be devastating to an alien physiology with no prior exposure or defenses. This microscopic allies scenario is often considered humanity's most plausible biological defense, although it relies on a specific biological vulnerability in the invaders. Conversely, aliens could also introduce their own pathogens to which we have no immunity, leading to a catastrophic biological crisis for humanity. The potential for reverse engineering alien technology is another glimmer of hope. Even in a devastated world, humanity's scientists and engineers, driven by an existential threat, would relentlessly study any captured alien equipment. Rapid advancements could be made in understanding and repurposing alien energy sources, propulsion, and weaponry. This concept of adapting enemy technology is a recurring theme in survival narratives, representing a critical pathway to closing the technological gap. Furthermore, our own burgeoning AI capabilities, though currently limited, could be harnessed to analyze alien tactics, predict their movements, and potentially even launch cyber attacks against their systems, assuming some compatibility or exploitability exists. Environmental factors on Earth could also play an unexpected role. Our planet's atmosphere, gravity, and diverse ecosystems might be uncomfortable or even hostile to invaders adapted to different worlds. Extreme weather patterns, difficult terrain, or even the basic chemistry of our environment could pose unforeseen challenges for them. While advanced technology would mitigate many of these issues, prolonged occupation or ground operations could expose them to such vulnerabilities. The definition of survival itself is crucial. Does survival mean completely expelling the invaders and restoring the world to its pre-invasion state? Or does it imply a remnant of humanity enduring, perhaps in scattered pockets, rebuilding slowly over generations, possibly even under a new form of alien oversight or indirect control? The cost of victory might be so high that the resulting human society would be irrevocably changed, having lost much of its cultural heritage, technological base, and even its global population. In the long run, humanity's greatest asset may be its sheer resilience and unwillingness to surrender. Our history is replete with examples of societies overcoming immense hardship and adapting to unimaginable circumstances. If the conflict becomes a war of attrition, one that extends over decades or even centuries, our ability to reproduce, learn, and fight back from the shadows could eventually wear down even the most powerful invaders. They would face a constant, evolving resistance on their newly acquired territory, making permanent subjugation difficult and costly. Ultimately, the prospect of an alien invasion forces us to confront fundamental questions about ourselves. Could we overcome our internal divisions in the face of an existential external threat? Would our ingenuity prove sufficient against vastly superior technology? Could the biological and environmental specifics of Earth turn out to be our unexpected shield? While the odds might seem stacked against us, the human spirit, with its capacity for adaptation, innovation, and an enduring will to live, offers a powerful, albeit slim, hope for survival. The answer to whether humanity could survive an alien invasion isn't a simple yes or no. It rests on a complex interplay of the aliens' capabilities and intentions, and, crucially, humanity's own capacity for collective action and unwavering resilience.